excited to make content for you guys outside of just what I do on stream. So I'm super excited about this video. I'm really passionate about Super Mario Maker and Super Mario Maker's community. I really attribute a lot of my success to this game, and I'm really passionate about it. So I really wanted to make a video for you guys talking about streaming Super Mario Maker 2 and some best practices and some things that I've learned over the years. I owe my Twitch partnership to Super Mario Maker. I owe all the friendships that I've made on the road to Super Mario Maker. So I'm really passionate about this, and I want to share stuff with you guys that hopefully will be really helpful. So we're going to be talking about 3 different categories today. If you guys notice that I don't hit something that you'd really like to learn about, just make sure you comment down below, ask a question. I'm super open to all that. So without further ado, let's dive in. Alright, first thing I'm going to dive into is equipment and tools that you should use for Super Mario Maker 2. There's a lot of people that use different things besides this, but this is what I've found to be the best. So one thing I think is really important for Super Mario Maker streamers is using a webcam. Something where you can see their face so that they can show you the emotion that's going on in their head, whether they're frustrated, whether they're excited, you know, whether they just failed at something. I think it adds so much more to the stream when you're able to express your emotions and share with your audience what's going through your head. Maybe you beat a level that you've been working on for like 5 hours and you're like, whoa, I did it. I think that just adds so much more to your stream. But you don't necessarily have to have a webcam. I just think, especially when you're starting out, people are more likely to click on a channel that has a webcam. Warp World will give you a queue system, so if you want to stream viewer levels, Warp World is an amazing tool that you can use for a queue system. It makes it really easy for your chat to add levels, check where they are on the queue, if they need to look up the level code so that they can play a level that maybe you're trying. The people at Warp World are really great, and they work really hard to create this queue system. They had a really cool bookmark system for Mario Maker 1, and they're currently working on one for Super Mario Maker 2. But if you're looking for something to help you organize your levels and use a queue, I definitely would suggest Warp World. It's amazing, and majority of Mario Maker streamers use it. So this one is kind of more an opinion versus what you have to do, but I personally believe for streaming Mario Maker that you should have a pretty simple layout. The gameplay should be, you know, the main focus of your stream. You just don't want anything too wild and loud kind of getting in the way of your gameplay. I personally like something a little bit more simple, that it doesn't take away from your gameplay. So basically just the gameplay, your camera, maybe a couple alerts, maybe your subscribers, and that's about it. Some people don't even have anything besides like their gameplay and their camera, which I think is preferred, just to keep it a little bit more simple. But it's totally up to you on what you want to do to customize your stream. I just find that sometimes if you put too much, it can be really distracting away from your gameplay. The final thing I want to hit on for equipment is just having decent audio. Your voice is going to be the main other thing that's going to be entertaining for your stream, so you just want to make sure you invest in something that's decent, doesn't have like buzzing or a fuzzy noise in the background. You know, make sure it's equalized so it's not like peaking or anything like that. You don't have to buy a super expensive mic, but your audio is really, really important for people to continue tuning in. So I would say just make sure you have something decent to go along with your gameplay. Alright, so let's dive into Twitch specifics next, because Twitch is basically where you're going to be streaming Mario Maker. Maybe you're on Mixer, so this could apply probably also to Mixer and other streaming platforms, but I stream on Twitch, so I'm going to give you my advice for streaming on Twitch. Okay, so the first thing I want to hit on for Twitch specifics, and this kind of has to go with, you know, the simple overlay, but when you're streaming Super Mario Maker, I would say stay away from really long alerts that can cover up your gameplay and be distracting. I would say follow alerts, make them a little bit shorter. I mean, some people have really hype alerts that, you know, they take a little longer. Maybe there's like a dancing GIF that goes with it. I think especially if you're in the middle of like playing a super hard level, if there's like an alert over the top, sometimes it can be distracting and get in the way. I would say try to keep your alerts to a minimum and not like a 10-second long alert. Maybe just a couple seconds or something like that. With streaming Super Mario Maker 2, it's really important to put what you're doing in your stream title. So if you're doing viewer levels, put viewer levels at the front of your title. If you're doing endless, do that at the front of your title. If you're doing versus, put that in the front of your title. Like Make it really clear on what you're doing, especially if you're doing viewer levels. When people are browsing through Twitch, you want to just make it really easy to have them know what your stream is about and what you're doing. Okay, so next let's talk about emotes. So if you are making Super Mario Maker 2 the main game that you're going to be streaming, sometimes it's really fun to add in an emote that is themed for Super Mario Maker. So I have like a GG emote, and I have like a cheese emote, so if I cheese a level, my chat can post that. It makes it a lot more fun for your community to interact, especially if they're really big Super Mario Maker fans. I think it's kind of fun to be able to have those themed emotes, just because it adds a little bit more personal touch to the community. Don't go around like advertising your stream, you know, saying like, I beat this level too and all that stuff. If you want to network and start creating relationships with people, go to their stream because you like their content and you support them and their content inspires you. The Super Mario Maker community is one of the best communities that I've ever been a part of, and that's why I've stayed with it for so long. I love the game, I love the people, everyone's super inclusive. I just want to make sure that you guys don't go around and being like, hey, I'm streaming Super Mario Maker 2 later, and promoting yourself on somebody else's stream is not the best practice. If you want to host and support other people, you know, spend time in their stream, tell them that you like their content, subscribe to their channel if you have the means to do that. People will appreciate you so much more if you go and support their channel, support their content, and, you know, host and rate them. You know, when it comes to hosting and rating, pick streamers that are the same size as you. You guys can kind of grow together, and it helps you create connections with people that, you know, are at the same spot that you are. So that would be my advice on networking and hosting and rating on Twitch. Alright, you guys, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video. You know what equipment you need to use, you kind of know the best practices for streaming Super Mario Maker 2. Let's talk about what you're doing while you're playing the game and interacting with your audience. So I think it's important to kind of pick something that you can focus on for your stream. For me, I play viewer levels a lot, and people come back to my channel because they like to submit their levels to me and watch me try to beat them. So that is the main thing that I do, but you can pick a variety of different things when it comes to Super Mario Maker 2. With the second Mario Maker coming out, there's a lot more options as well. You could do viewer levels, like I said, you could do co-op mode, you could do versus, you could do an endless run, you could do, maybe you want to do troll levels and try to beat troll levels, maybe you want to speed run levels, maybe you have a cool mini game. One mini game I'm thinking of is Cliffy's 100 Ways to Die. He was doing that for Super Mario Maker 1. I believe he's working on that for Super Mario Maker 2. You know, the Dragon Beanie had a really cool mini game for Super Mario Maker 1 that had to do with the 100-man challenge. You know, pick something where you kind of have a theme. But when it comes to Super Mario Maker 2, I think you can mix it up as well. So maybe your main thing is viewer levels, but another stream maybe you want to mix it up and do versus. There's a lot of options when it comes to Super Mario Maker 2, but I think it's important to define what you're known for so that people know what to expect when they come back to your stream. So the main thing that I do on Super Mario Maker 2 is I play viewer levels. So I want to kind of hit on best practices if you're going to be doing viewer level streams on your channel. So the first thing I want to hit on is you're playing other people's levels. Make sure that you are kind enough to them that they don't hate themselves after that you play their level and, you know, you just say that it's garbage. I think it's important to give constructive criticism to the level creators so that they can get better and they can learn and their levels improve every time that they make them. And that way, you know, they develop into really good level creators, so when they do submit you levels, you have fun playing their levels. But yeah, I think that's really important when it comes to streaming Super Mario Maker 2, is just to not like trash anybody. When it comes to playing endless, you know, it's a little bit easier to be like, this level is hot garbage, because, you know, that person might not be, you know, sitting in your chat. With viewer levels also, it's important to play levels that you like playing. As much as I want to play everybody's level and give everybody equal playing time on levels, if I'm playing a level that frustrates me a lot and maybe is too hard for me to play, or it's just really long, like there's pieces that are really long and you don't get a lot of checkpoints, like don't force yourself to play levels that you're not having fun playing. The reason you don't want to force yourself to play these levels is your chat is going to be able to tell if you're frustrated and not having fun, and it's really important to keep your energy up and just make sure you're enjoying yourself while you're streaming. Yes, it can be kind of fun to watch someone work themselves through a level that could be kind of hard and frustrating, but just don't push yourself too far to the limit where you're like no longer enjoying streaming. Another thing that can be really fun for streaming Super Mario Maker 2 is streaming yourself creating a level. That can be really cool content if you do it right. I personally do not like to create levels on stream because it's really hard for me to be creative and talk with the chat. You know, a lot of the times what I'll see other streamers do is they'll start a level and get most of the way done with it, and then on stream they'll finish it and make some final tweaks to it. When it comes to like starting a level from scratch, some people really like that process, but I feel it could possibly get a little stale if it's not done correctly. So just be careful if you're streaming making a level. I think it works really well for a lot of streamers. One streamer in particular that I really like watching make levels is Barb, because he's like a level creating genius in my opinion, and they're really difficult, which is fun to watch as well. So yeah, when it comes to making levels on stream, you can totally do it. Just make sure that you're doing it in a way that's like entertaining. So another thing I want to hit on is playing the same level constantly on stream. This works out for a lot of streamers. I'm thinking of Failstream, who played his cape level for over 500 hours, I believe it was, before he finally beat it, which is really cool and it builds the hype. But when it comes to your stream, just make sure you define that you're doing something like that, because some people get frustrated watching the same level being played over and over and over again. They're like, skip, go on to the next level. You know, it's important to do what you want to do, but I think it's important to like, okay, if I'm gonna grind on this level for like 2 hours, and then I'm gonna switch up my content to do something else so that I can have a little bit more variety. That's what I personally would do, and that way you're not like burning yourself out on playing the same level over and over and over again. One other great practice for streaming, kind of streaming in general, but just streaming Super Mario Maker 2, is when you're playing the game, you know, talk about what you're doing. You know, I'm gonna shell jump off of this, and then I'm going to take this Koopa and throw it in here, or, you know, I'm gonna check out this pipe because I think this is the right way to go. I think it's really important to be constantly talking while you're streaming, especially if you're just starting out and you don't have a lot of people in chat that you can interact with right away. Is just constantly be talking. You know, any person could come into your stream at any second, and they might be in there for 5 seconds, they might be in there for a minute, but you have that time to capture them and pull them into who you are and what your personality is. So just make sure you're constantly talking. If you don't have a chat that you're interacting with and talking to, just talk about your gameplay. I think it's important to talk about your gameplay even if you have a chat you're talking to. It just makes it that much more fun because you get to see how your brain is working and what strategy you're going to take on the next thing. So that's what I would say, is just to be constantly talking. Some people will come into your stream and they might not be the nicest. Maybe they'll be like, play my level, you should play my level first. Or maybe they'll come in and be like, you suck at this level, like stop playing it. Or they're just rude people, you know, on the internet. It is what it is. You know, I would say make sure you have a really good, solid team of mods at your side that can handle an audience that is being rude and can kind of be the bad guy for you. It can be really frustrating to be in a stream where people are just constantly being toxic to you. You want to create a community that's about you and supports you, and just make sure that you don't let behavior that maybe frustrates you go by unchecked. So just make sure you have a really strong team of mods that, you know, can help navigate your viewers and, you know, tell them best practices for your stream. All right, the next thing I want to hit on is play to your strengths and weaknesses. You don't necessarily have to be a good Super Mario Maker 2 player to be a good Super Mario Maker 2 streamer. Just make sure you're playing to the best of your ability and doing things that are going to be enjoyable for both your audience and yourself. Another thing I think is really important is to make sure that you are troubleshooting and figuring a lot of the stuff out before you hop on stream. I've had some technical difficulties on stream that have been really frustrating, and if it's possible, try to get those things figured out before you start your stream so you don't have to take away any time from you actually doing gameplay and interacting with your audience. Also, another thing that has to do with viewer levels is when it comes to picking levels, I have found that the best practice for me is first do who's at the top of the queue. So do next, do a sub-random, and then do a random. I think it's best to do it this way because if somebody can't make it really early or to the start of your stream, they still have a chance to get their level played. Your subs get a little bit of a perk because they have a more likely chance to get picked from a sub random. You know, random people, like when you're doing random, it literally can be anybody in chat, so everybody has a chance, even if they're not a sub. And then next, if people decide to show up to your stream right away, they still have a chance to get their level played sooner because they were there earlier. Don't ever feel obligated to complete levels that you hate or having a really hard time with. You know, I used to do that for a while and I noticed that it was kind of burning me out to play levels and just trying to always beat them. When I play viewer levels, I usually give them about a 15 to 20 minute time for me to beat them. That way, you know, everybody gets a chance to get their level played, it keeps the stream moving, and you know, it does encourage people to not submit levels that are super duper hard because they know that you're never going to finish it in 15 to 20 minutes. So the final thing I want to hit on is just making sure that you're streaming with consistency. You know, maybe pick 2 or 3 days a week where you for sure can stream at a certain time, and that way people know when to look for you. You know, I know Hannah's going to be on Sunday nights playing viewer levels because I've done that for the last 4 years of my life for every Sunday that I've been able to stream. Consistency is really key. Letting your viewers know what to expect. Like Sunday I'm playing viewer levels, Tuesday I'm going to be playing versus, you know, maybe Thursday you're going to do an endless challenge. Just be really open with your audience and make sure that you share all of the things that you have going on, so your audience can kind of learn and grow with you and know what to expect. Alright you guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If there's something that I didn't cover or you have a question on anything, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll make sure to go and answer any questions that you might have. I am super excited to be creating content for you guys, you know, outside of just my stream, so I hope you really enjoy it. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this video. Thank you so much.